Hi, it's ovesen.net and this time I have a game console to take a look at, an Atari 2600. So this is the more modern version of the Atari 2600 console. I think this is the latest release that came out. I also got a few games and even a brand new power adapter. I don't know when this release came out, but at least the box here says copyright 1991. I bought this Atari from a seller on finn.no, but it's unclear if it is working, so that's the first task, to test if it's working. The Atari 2600 was originally released as a video computer system 2600 by Atari. This was in September 1977. The price at that time was $199 US, and as you've seen, the format of the console was games on ROM cartridges. The CPU was the 8-bit 6507 from MOS Technology, which is essentially the same CPU that's been used in the VIC-20 and the Commodore 64. And the memory was only 128 bytes of RAM, since all the game code and everything necessary to run the game was on the cartridge. There was not much need for RAM on this console. The console was released in several models during its lifespan, and here you can see two different versions, the original on the top and the junior or cost-reduced version on the bottom. The console was discontinued in 1992. Okay, so I hooked up the console and I'm tuning in my TV. Alright, yeah, the console is working. However, the video signal is pretty poor. I'll try to do some manual adjustment here. Nope, this seems to be the best I can get it. However, the console has a channel switch in which you can switch between channel 2 and 3. So I'll switch to channel 3 and try that one instead. The channel select button says 2 and 3, but my TV now found something on channel C4, so it seems to be off by 1. Nope, using channel 3 or 4 seems to be even worse, so I think I'll have to open this machine up and see if there is anything I can do with this. So let me open up the Atari, and by the way, may the 4th be with you. It's the Star Wars day today, 4th of May. So that was the 5 screws holding the case. So let me open it. Easier said than done. I don't want to break anything, so I'm not entirely sure how to remove the top case. So there seem to be some clips hidden underneath these air vent holes. So in order to get it off, you have to push the clips at the same time lifting the two halves apart. So there's first. Okay, after a bit of struggle, I managed to get the clips off, and then you can just separate the case. And be careful, because here's a ribbon cable, so you have to lift from the on-off button side. Okay, this is the inside of the Atari 2600 Junior, which is the same as the original 2600, but the hardware has been redesigned to take less space. There are no screws holding the board to the case, so you have these plastic clips on the side here. So I'll try to gently push them aside, try not to break it off. Oh, yeah, exactly what I did not want to happen is I broke this clip. It was not that firm, so it broke right off. Then I gently remove this ribbon cable. So this is the back side of the board, and it says revision F1 and week 25 in 1991. The board looks to be in good condition, not much dirt. I want to remove this shielding here to look underneath. I don't think the shielding is soldered to the board. It just has these hooks on the back side which are twisted to hold it in place. So just straighten the pins. I guess this is as good as it gets with the picture. The output signal from this system is the same as with most systems in the 80s. It's an RF modulated signal in which you use the antenna cable to connect to the TV. So I think this area here is the RF modulator, and the signal goes through this antenna cable to the TV. And the reason for that is because in the early 70s, 80s, the televisions only had the antenna input, so that's why most consoles and computers at that time had an RF signal out. Of course, nowadays modern televisions have different inputs, including HDMI, and most televisions has a SCART input still, even if that is a standard that has been discontinued. No, the signal that is being produced by the computer or the graphic circuitry on this console is in fact composite video, which modern televisions can display directly without any modulation. As you probably can hear, the sound is also distorted a bit with some noise. Well, I cleaned all the contacts and I tried to adjust some of the potential meters here on the board to no effect. So that made me think this is a too bad picture. Something else must be wrong. And what I did, I tried a different antenna cable. And let me show you. So away with the crappy antenna cable and try another one. And voila! The picture is almost perfect with that cable. So much better. This is actually usable, and yeah, there's a little distortion because I'm filming the screen, but yeah, otherwise it looks okay. Alright, so picture quality is good, but I still think I'm gonna do a composite modification. However, I think that would be in another video, not this one. The case is quite clean, it isn't dirty at all. I think it looks like new actually, so I just wipe it clean with some isopropanol and microfiber cloth. So I just clean inside the cartridge port here. I just sprayed some contact cleaner inside. I cleaned everything I can. I'm going to assemble the Atari. I just glued the broken clip here with some super glue and hopefully it will hold. Okay. It did not hold. Yeah, as expected. Perhaps. I'm always finding that super glue isn't really suitable for this kind of plastics. So I'm gonna use hot glue instead. It doesn't really matter if this clip is on or not, if when the case is closed and screwed together, the board is held. Okay, this is sitting firmly now. So. And here you see the inside of the top case and the little clips that holds together with the bottom case and makes it difficult to separate the two parts. So just push the two parts together. Should fit. It's a little buttons here, yeah. keep the buttons up. Next I'm gonna take a look at the cartridges that came with the console, and these are some of the classic games for the Atari 2600, and they look okay. I'm just gonna clean the outside, and I'm not gonna open them because then I have to break the label. I don't want to do that. I'm going to try to clean the contact also. For the contacts I use this electronic cleaner, and I just spray a good amount on each side. Then I just use a cotton swab on each side. So. And of course I forgot to assemble the RF shielding, since I had put it in another place, but that's okay. I'm gonna leave it outside for now, since I'm planning to do some more work on this console later. Now when everything is clean and fine, let me try some games. One thing I noticed, if you just turn on the machine without putting in a cartridge, you get some some scramble picture. But let's turn it off, and now I'm gonna test this Commando game from Activision. Okay, looks familiar. I used to play this a lot on the Commodore 64 back in the days. So you select the game mode here, 1 or 2 player, and you push this one to start. Let me put some audio on. I stink at this, I think. One thing that's nice with the Atari 2600 is that if you don't like the joypad which came with the console, you can switch it out with another one for Commodore 64 or other computers, because it was actually Atari who made that 9-pin joystick standard. So I got another joystick here, which is from a Commodore 64. I can easily plug in that one and use that instead. The next one is Centipede, which is another classical game for the Atari 2600. This is actually very playable, kind of fun. It's very fast. But I guess I suck at this one too. Then we have Mrs. Pac-Man. Okay, this is an old-timer, 1982. And on this game you can see some flashing effect on the sprites. I guess it's because of limitations of the video chip that the programmers had to do some tricks. And the last one is also a classic. This one I played a lot on the Commodore 64 back in the days. Of course on the C64 it is considerably better gameplay than this version. As you can see, there is some artifacts going on in the colors. So that's why I want to do a composite mod to improve the picture quality. Okay, so which of these 4 games have the best graphics? Well, I think the pole position has to be number 1. However, which game has the best gameplay? I would have to say it's the Centipede game. Alright, that's it for the Atari 2600 for now. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, please hit the subscribe button below, and thank you. See you in my next video. Bye bye.